Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at twitch.tv/HandelabraGames or Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, or pretty much any avenue. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Sentinels of Earth Prime, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, One Deck Galaxy, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island are all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, with the exceptions of One Deck Dungeon, which is also available on Switch, and One Deck Galaxy, which is in early access on Steam. You can find more information on those games at handelabra.com. We're diving with dolphins again! Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Alright, this is the last stream of the year, guys. We made it! Another solid year down! And I decided to pick up One Deck Galaxy again because it's been a while since I played it other than last week. So let's give it another shot. It's just fun to play. I like the music. It's a very calm game. This week I'll do entirely random, so not just necessarily Dark Star Syndicate, but let's see what random gives me. Because I always go pure random. First, I want to generate two integers between 1 and 5. I get 4 and 5, so Tim Tiddlywinks and Scientists. Then I want one random integer between 1 and 4, and we get 4. So we are doing Dark Star Syndicate. Yes! Randomly done. We did it. So Tim Tiddlywinks, Homeworld Killicut. Starts with 4 energy, 4 materials, 2 diplomacy. Base element is water. First milestone, and the results phase with no cards in the discovery zone. Innate tech is salvage rights. Roll an ultra tech die or use a tech from an encounter in the discovery zone. And a society is scientists. I can't expand this up, really. Interesting. There we go. 3 milestones. Have 4 activated techs, have 5 activated techs, or spend 7 tech discs as an action. So special rule is that you can use a starbase token as a tech token, or starbase disc as a tech disc, or you can use 2 tech discs as a starbase disc. So a bit easier to activate techs, helps with the milestones. Also, you can use tech discs in different ways. We have mobile laboratories as a tech on this side. Innately, we can spend a fleet to launch a probe. At milestone 3 or Federation level 3, we can spend a fleet to launch a probe or study a location. And at Federation level 5, we can spend a fleet to launch a probe and or study a location. So this levels up to allow us to freely get science, which is pretty cool. And the innate milestone of ending the results phase with no cards in the discovery zone is most easily accomplished by studying all 4 locations. And lots of text that we want to be able to activate. Now, I think there's been errata on this. I think in a previous stream, the combo of salvage rights, use a tech from an encounter in the discovery zone. What I had done was I used there was an encounter that said you can activate a tech for free, basically, and I used that to activate salvage rights or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but it turns out that I don't think the techs that are on the field used with salvage rights count as an activated tech. You have to actually have the tech activated. So we do actually need 5 techs activated that we have. Yeah, the click box for this is a bit weird. I can't right click. Oh, I can right click. But I can't right click on the milestone. I have to right click on the card. And the same is true over here. That's interesting. Yeah, so I have to be able to use maybe salvage rights and mobile laboratories and 3 other techs in order to activate this. But spending 7 tech discs, we can actually do that with starbase discs. So that's we can spend 6 of them right now. Well, not right now. If we get our starbase to class 4, we can spend 6. But anyway, Syndicate, if you don't remember, during setup, a random event is put into play. The event cards have these effects that we have to be able to manage over the course of the game. They are called experiments. Each time an event is revealed or remains in play face up as an experiment with negative effects until shut down. To shut it down, we have to put 12 science next to it, which we move from our starbase over. Dice placed in experimental boxes cannot be removed once placed, but are returned to the general supply during reset, because some of these salvage cards, they have extra rules, such as the inoperability taxes that prohibit us from using the Ultra Tech dice as a wildcard die, unless we put the corresponding color on the salvage area. And the salvage area, ordinarily, you don't have to deal with this while this is an active experiment, but when this is fixed, like we put the 12 science under here, it goes underneath the confrontation card over here. And unlike normal games of one deck dungeon, you can't freely flip the confrontation card. You set it on the side of the rhetorical banishment side up. If there are X science on the adversary, they are discarded and the confrontation card is flipped. On the flip side, we have to stop the finale. And you have to be able to fill up this 14 wild color and this 14 diplomacy in order to be able to stop the finale. But in addition, if all the boxes below, which are these and in salvage, are full during the results phase, this card is flipped. So whatever experiments we stop make the future finales harder to stop as well. But if there are X science on the adversary, discard the highest science card from the adversary and 10 cards from the deck. So if you ignore the finale, then they're actually going to speed up the end of the game. So that's that. So they don't gain influence, they gain the top card of the deck as science. And their escalation, they gain the top card of the deck as science as well. The harder difficulty of this just changes these numbers and these numbers too? No. Right, because it doesn't... yeah, this is a card, this is the actual thing. So on harder difficulty, the only real difference is the amount of science that they need to be able to flip, which is indeed lower. And also time passes is 2 time instead of 1 time. All right, let's play the game. Playing some games other than Baldur's Gate 3, you got Rivals of Aether, Root, and Darkest Dungeon. I've heard a lot about Darkest Dungeon. I should maybe consider playing it someday. We're starting with Adminfinity. You may place dice in the salvage area. You may not resolve the starbase unless the total dice value in the gray box is at least as high as the quantity of dice on the starbase. Okay. This is a bit better than the one that we had before, where it was every time we just add a card to the discovery zone, we have to spend time or something like that, or spend a fleet or time. So the nice thing about this, I mean, we have to spend science in order to deal with this, but we get an Ultra Tech die, a probe, and a shutdown. So it kind of pays for itself. It's 3 science to... Well, it's 3 science to roll the Ultra Tech, but once we hit the... Like, these are cumulative effects. So once you get to 6, we launch a probe. 9, you launch a probe, and 12, shutdown. The salvage that then we'd have to deal with on every finale stopping is a 3 science card and 3 on this box. It's really weird to see a big 3. Really weird. Let's roll the dice. I also have 2 encounters out here. We don't have 4 fleets. These are both 4 science cards, by the way. That's a lot. 18 diplomacy is rather hard. 655 is rather hard. But we do have salvage rights. So what this does is we could roll an Ultra Tech die, or we can use one of these techs that are out here. So We can use expeditionary. I don't know why I could say that word. Expeditionary force. Spend 2 fleets to add an influence to each location for free. Well, spending 2 fleets, but when there are 4 locations out here, this is pretty valuable. As you're spending basically 2 dice, because a fleet is basically a die-ish in terms of how much it costs, but 2 dice to add an influence, which, like here, we have to spend 2 dice to add 1 influence, so that's pretty valuable. Escalation beam, increase up to Federation level dice by Federation level each. Really strong in the late game, but at Federation level 1, this only increases 1 die by 1. But it does level up, and can be really powerful when you're at Federation level 5. Either way, we can't do either because we don't have 4 fleets. You can spend a fleet to launch a probe. You can do both of these, of course, but... But if I do use Expeditionary Force, I'm losing my 2 fleets. I'm probably not going to do it when there's only 2 locations, though. So either Ultra Tech die or increase the die by 1. Probably just the Ultra Tech die. We can't actually do our end the results phase with no cards thing, because these cards are going to persist. And they're going to escalate, of course. Unless we can do something about it. But right now, I can't do anything about it. Got a 2. And a fleet for a probe is pretty worth, right? Because a probe is normally 3 dice, a fleet is 1 die. And we could perhaps use the science to do other things over here. Got 8 science out of 2 cards. That's impressive. We can actually upgrade the starbase. So in the previous game, I didn't really upgrade the starbase that much. I think only when I got later in the game did I do it. Also, You've Got Mail is here, and I've said You've Got Mail is one of my favorite locations, although tessellating sprockets is not actually that helpful. But we are the scientists, so we do want techs, basically. Especially techs that give us dice, if we're only going for techs. However, we have an innate water, so taking You've Got Mail gives us another water, which means we're not going to get the Ultra Tech 6 if we just only get waters. In fact, these 3 are waters. Wow. Okay. So what shall we do? Well, we can't confront because we don't have a 5 or a 6. We can't do anything with the Solidarians or the Uplifters because we don't have enough fleets or enough science. Now, technically we're at Starbase Class 1, so we would not normally be able to deal with the Solidarians, but if we did preserve our tech discs, we could use 2 tech discs as a Starbase disc. So like next turn, maybe we could get the Solidarians if my diplomacy roll is really good. So it's a question of how many dice am I putting on the starbase? Because I do need to make sure I have Ab Infinity allocated for that as well. I kind of want to gain 2 influence on You've Got Mail in any case, just because it's really easy influence. I may or may not just gain this for a colony to get more dice and tech discs. Although I would like to gain these as techs if I can. I don't know. I mean, I only have 2 diplomacy dice. This 18's rather tough, unless I somehow get really good rolls off of my diplomacy and my ultra tech and my energy. This is also really good dice just to have 1 of each. But Escalation Beam gives me a lot of control later in the game. So let's keep this 6 out, and then, like, let's say I put the 6 in here. I can spend 6 of these dice. There's 8 dice. So say that I want to gain 3 fleets. And then I want to do a probe. So I don't need to study You've Got Mail. I like it. I could study you Flutara. But it's only 2 science. I could put all of my science into Admin Infinity. It will give me an Ultra Tech die and a probe. I kind of want to save the Ultra Tech die though. The thing is, I can't put any more dice on the starbase because, like, I can only put 1 more, and then I have to put more in here. But this extra die is not actually doing anything. Also, by doing that, I can't actually get the die out. Because dice in the... dice that are in salvage cannot be moved. Right, so that 6 is just gonna hang out there, I guess. I could have gotten 6 using these 2 dice. I'm just wondering if I can somehow get Flutara, but... like this 1 and then this 6 would help. But then I wouldn't be able to really get, like, meaningful dice in the starbase. I definitely want to get 4 fleets in case I can claim Solidarians next turn. It's unlikely, but I want to have that possibility be open. Uplifters is kind of impossible. Yeah, I don't really think there's a way to do anything else with these dice. Because, like, I can't put 1 of them in the 1 fleet because it takes 2 dice. Now, normally it'd be great to have 2, but I don't have enough, so. Alright, I will just engage. I got another 4! Yay! I think it's worth upgrading because I can still do Solidarians. I don't want to spend 12 science on uplifters anyway. Solidarians number 2 is over here. Let's put that one back in the pool because it is an encounter, but it's also a really good skill. And then 2 Num Numlets. I don't know, I'll just do those 2. Okay. So our progress in that turn is we got to Starbase Class 2. I get a really good roll here. We could confront Solidarians. Ooh. We can, actually. It will cost dice. But, like, I could do an Ultra Tech here. I don't know if I want to use these dice for it, but I could do an Ultra Tech. And then I could do that and that. It's pretty expensive. I still have my 2 tech discs as well, because I upgraded my starbase. So let's go back a step. Let's just go all the way back. I like the sound for undo, because let's do the roll. We don't need to gain fleets. We don't need to increase dice. Let's just do this. Because if that was a 5, that would have been better. Now we can't spend a fleet to launch a probe, as we do need the 4 fleets. And we can't calibrate a die because we need fleets. So I just do this and this. So I'm pretty sure just getting rid of this is pretty good, because they are going to escalate 2 turns from now anyway. So let's just get rid of it. And we could still put like 6 in here and then put the remaining dice in the starbase, right? Basically do the same thing as we did last turn. Get 3 fleets back and do a probe. We'll definitely not have enough for uplifters next turn. But I think Expeditionary Force is pretty good. Because it's just going to be free influence, basically. Alright. Ah, that was just a 3. Alright, they got to 10 science, so now they are on the finale. Oh, that was a pretty crap roll. We can't even stop the finale if we wanted, huh? 14 diplomacy is kind of annoying. Ocean 1 is here. Ocean 1's pretty annoying because it requires a lot of diplomacy. If we were to study it, we have to discard 3 cards, so it accelerates the deck fast. You kind of really need to get a Federation level. But what can we do? Spend our fleets to gain science card and add influence. 2 fleets to add 3 influence is pretty good. We can get 2 influence on You've Got Mail. Can't get fleet tower. I guess we have this roll. We still are not using escalation or escalation beam, yeah, so it's a 4. Launch the probe. Gain influence. We do have to be careful because all of that influence is taking cards out of the deck, which means the reshuffle is going to be faster. The plus side, though, is that studying these cards is cheaper. So if we do get close to the reshuffle, we might be okay, because we could just clear this discovery zone more easily. All right, so science or cards to put into research lab. We're not doing anything with this. I can't do anything here. I could put 4 dice in the 10. Oh, but I can't because I already put a 4 in. Okay, so I have 9 remaining dice. I would have to put 7 in here in order to be able to use these. If I do that, I can get 3 fleets, and I always want to get 3 fleets because then I could do mobile laboratories and expeditionary force every turn. Although that of course speeds up the thing. I don't think I want to study these cards, so let's just do a probe, and since I have a spare die, let's gain 1 fleet. You don't know why, but the song tends to make you drowsy. It is a rather chill song. Alright, so now Uplifters is going to escalate, which adds another science card. 2 4s. Alright, we have to stop the finale. Like, bar none. So we really need a good diplomacy roll. Well, that was really not a good diplomacy roll. Yikes. Might not be able to stop it. The problem is if they don't... So they're adding a science card. They're going to discard 10 cards from the deck, which is going to trigger a reshuffle. The main issue with the reshuffle is that it's going to what's the word? They're going to add an event, but there's this check that says at the end of the phase, if there are more revealed events than your Federation level, you are overwhelmed. So, yeah. That's a problem. But we need 14 diplomacy. We have 2. Yikes. Okay. How do we fix this? Well, we can roll an Ultra Tech. So what we're gonna need to do is move one of these over. Let's move the 3. Just because that gives me the roll. I don't have to just move the 3, but I'm gonna move the 3. Gives me a 4. Now the 14 on the left can be done with any color, but the 14 on the right can only be done with blues and Ultra Techs. So we just need 5 more. If I use these 2 dice, does the remainder total to 14? Yes. So that was scary. We're still alive. Now let's do this, because this isn't going to actually spend any cards except for Twinso. Then next turn, Expeditionary Force will give me You've Got Mail, and I could then freely claim these 2, or these 3, and then I could end the discovery phase with no cards in the discovery zone. It will study Ocean 1, which is kind of bad. So I can't spend this fleet as I need it for next turn. I don't want to study those. And I gained another 4 science. Ugh. Gross. Okay. There's no encounters. Can't confront because I don't have good diplomacy. So Expeditionary Force. Oh, that's gonna reshuffle, isn't it? Okay, if I'm gonna reshuffle, I want the reshuffle to be as thick as possible, so I'm gonna put my remaining science in here. It's gonna launch 2 probes. Well, okay, there's 3 science in here. I don't really want to put the 4 in there yet. Or I could put the 4. I want to get a 3 off of a probe, right? Yeah, the hope is that I can actually just get rid of this card once and for all. I got a 4. Okay. I could have looked at the deck and see that. Okay. I'm gonna overspend if I want to get rid of this. But overspending by 1 is okay. So let's put this in there. It's gonna do another probe, which gets me the 2, and then I can put 2 more in there. And I want to spend as much as possible here, because that will make the discard as thick as possible. Then I'm going to spend my fleets. The reshuffle was triggered. And now I want to clear this zone. Okay, so we got rid of this, so I can put any dice in the starbase. I'm not constrained by that. Ocean 1 I can't make any progress in. Lutara I can gain if I want. Accelerated study for a free probe is kind of nice. Plus we want more techs. There's 2 accelerated studies. This is so no ultra text here, but my energy is not high enough to claim it. So I think what that means is I gain Flutara, but I don't get these 2. So I can get to Federation level 3 with 5 activated techs if I gain these 2 as techs. I won't have enough tech stars though, which sucks. Tech discs, that is. I could gain one of these for the tech discs. Maybe you've got mail because it gives me more dice. I don't really need tech discs that much because I can always use these for tech discs. Can I use this if I can't pay for it? No. I mean, I can, but it doesn't do anything. Okay. I was curious. If it was, even if you don't have a fleet, the effect still happens. Thing. But... don't have any fleets to calibrate, so yeah, that's just kind of sad. I guess I don't have to spend this one. Like, I could do actually this, can't I? In which case I can actually gain this. Okay, that's better then. So it gives me Flutara, gives me Twinso, and I study Ocean 1. So then I gain one of these as tech discs so that I can actually hit this next turn. I'll be at Federation level 4. And then I can win the game. As in I have the ability to win the game. Okay, so the remaining dice go into Starbase. Gain fleets. And... you. So I don't really need this die. Because I can't do... Well, I guess I could gain 2 fleets and a study. I mean, that's to make my dice most optimal. But if I want to do Expeditionary Force and Mobile Laboratories, I would need to have 3 fleets. So I guess these dice are just getting wasted then. So do I want to gain both of these for Well, I guess I can only do a tech once, can't I? Even if it's a duplicate. So let's just do this. This. I can actually gain it. Well, whatever. I have 4 waters now. But we are now at Federation level 2, so we don't lose the game. For each card added to the Discovery Zone, spend a fleet. If none are available, discard 2 cards instead. Well, there go my fleets. And Terra Infirma is here. We can actually do it. To get rid of it. We do not have plants. We have 1 plant. We're close to this, but there's no other plants out here, so we're probably just gonna gain dice. All right, so I have no fleet, so a lot of these are gonna fizzle, but we do want to do these to get the things, right? And we do have enough Starbase discs and tech discs to be able to do this. Ooh, the Stop the Finale is back, but oh well. Let's do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. And do this. All right. No fleets, can't do this. Can't really do this. No dice with vice. 6. Could get the bottom row if we wanted. If I upgrade my Starbase to one more class, I get to Federation level 5, because I could spend all of my tech discs and Starbase discs to achieve that. So maybe I just study all of these and then upgrade. Now to stop the finale now, I actually have to cover this 3 science thing. Let's see, if I put all my dice in here. 4, 8, 2. I don't have enough dice to study all of these. Plus, if I do study, I have to spend a fleet or 2 dice to recover this box. So I think actually instead... Oh, this is kind of annoying. I don't have... I can overspend here to get 3 2s. Let's get as many fleets as possible since you stole all my fleets. And then do a probe. Let's get the dice. And then probe. We're almost on a reshuffle, but we're fine for a while because we're Federation level 4. So as long as we don't have 4 events, we're fine. Or 5 events. Ocean 1 is back. We are close to a reshuffle, so let's try to spend these as much as we can. I'll do this one. Do this one. It's nice that we get 2 Ultra Techs every turn. Kind of feels like we're on a level 4 in 1 deck dungeon. Okay. So they have a 4 science card under them. It's pretty valuable to get rid of it. If we fill all the boxes, the lowest science card from the adversary is discarded. There's only the 1, so it's always this one. But if they add another science card and it's a 2, they would lose the 2 on the flip. So it's kind of valuable to get rid of this while it's the 4. And we kind of know what this card is, but like, I think that will go away time passes first, right? What's the order of operations? Is it time passes and then influence, or influence and then time passes? I honestly don't know. Does the rulebook say? Oh, that's not the rulebook. It'll say in the main menu, right? Time passes is the end, it looks like. Adversary phase, we have adversary events, then time passes, then adversary influence. So it's like ordered differently here, but no. The order of events is time passes and then the influence, so, okay. All right, so I have 3 science. I have a 4 and a 2. That's awkward, but I can do a probe for, oh, but we know this is a 2. So we're gonna have to overspend, which is annoying. But first, we do have the 14, right? A bit of an overspend, that fixes that. Now, if we're gonna overspend, we want to use 2 cards for this, so let's do the probe. Actually, I can't undo. Even though I knew what the card was, I can't undo. I should have spent the fleet to do it. Actually, oh yeah, if I spent the fleet, I would have gotten 1 more card in the discard, but I can't do that now. Oh, well. Let's overspend to put as many cards in the deck as possible. Now we want to put 3 in here. We want to hit 14. Like that works. All right, so the finale is stopped for now. So let's do stuff. So we could since we are Federation level 3, we can actually study a location for free. So studying Namnamud for free. But we could also gain an influence on there for free as well. That said, I don't think we're really likely to claim Namnamud. We're also not likely to claim SS Sunlight. We're not spending 4 fleets to gain 1 influence and unlock the bottom row. So let's study this. This will spend the most fleets, which will make this a 28 card discard. So a 28 card deck, pretty good. All right. So this is my remaining dice. Can't do anything with Ocean 1. I don't think I want to study it this time. I think I actually want to deal with it. So let's leave it out there and let it accumulate influence from Expeditionary Force. Vo, you can actually get. And that extra tech disc we can use to get to Federation level 5, which means we won't be worried about losing the game depending events anymore. Oh, but I probably should be careful because we're going to spend all my remaining fleets because we haven't done nothing with mandatory sightseeing. So maybe I don't do that. These ones are expensive anyway, so we don't want to waste our dice like that. So let's get fleets back. We could study it. We're at... Yeah, we want to get a 2 science card to upgrade most efficiently, right? We can get science very easily, and we're not really worried about the speed of this game right now, so let's just get fleets. I guess I could study it, actually. I don't really care about these too much, do I? Let's go ahead and study it. And then upgrade. Alright, now we can get to Federation level 5 very easily. To place a tech disc on a tech, you must also place a tech disc, a starbase disc, or a dice of value 3+ here. Okay. Although we get tech discs back. Interesting. We should consider dealing with the adversary at some point, by the way. I don't know if we're actually making forward progress in this game. We got lots of stuff, but like... Ooh, okay. We kind of have to take this opportunity while it's here. How many diplomacies do we need feature on? Yeah, we need a lot. But this one's the hardest because we actually need a solid 5 and a solid 6. Okay, so... we have to spend a lot of tech discs to use techs, but this one's fine. And this one's fine. I do want this extra die. Okay. Because this allows me to just put that there. I can reclaim a 3 out. Hashtag math. All right, so we've confronted. That will give us a adversary disc. It will increase the number of science that they need in order to be able to flip. Makes it easier. Now what? Can't really do anything with any of these. What is Matter Fabricator? Return up to 2 dice to gain ultra text with their values? Interesting. Well, if I eventually claim these dice, I get diplomacy, so I think we're just gonna slowly whittle them down with Expeditionary Force, is our plan. So if these are out here, then we're not spending fleets to replace cards in the Discovery Zone, so that's fine. So let's just get fleets to pay for our techs. And then do a probe. Probes are 2 now. Oh. I can gain another fleet then. Okay. They are at 4 science. Okay. They need a lot of energy as well. And our roll is pretty average, and it's 18. I mean, an average roll is 3.5, so 5 dice will on average roll 17.5. So our 18 roll is pretty average. But yeah, 25 across 5 dice is kind of hard, isn't it? But we do have the Ultra Techs to help out. But Expeditionary Force. You could just get to Federation level 5 if we wanted to spend our remaining tech discs for that. Not close to a reroll or a reshuffle just yet, unless I keep getting cards out of the deck. Let's do this. I can't. Why can't I? Do I actually need to spend tech discs now? Oh, because I only have 2, right. I'm looking at the wrong number. I only have 2 tech discs. I get 4 when I start, but I only have 2 right now. And I have 3 over here, so it's 5. That's why. Okay. So I would not be using Expeditionary Force if I did that. I can still undo. Yeah. It's not a big deal. We're not in a rush. We can do 2 probes. Spend a tech disc, launch a probe. Let's do another probe. So we can upgrade pretty soon. We can do something with Starburger. Oh, I can't use 3s. Oh, I can calibrate to get that. Fleets are pretty easy. Diplomacy's hard. Make a lot of progress on SS Sunlight if I spend my fleets. That's probably worth. I don't know, need all those fleets right now. And then reclaim a lot of those fleets back. Oh. I'm kind of off by 1 now. Well, that's okay. I still get 3 fleets for 3 dice, and I can still do 2 probes. Actually, if I do this probe, it's going to do a reshuffle, and this is a very thin deck, because they're going to gain a science card and spend time. I don't want to do that. I will be returning cards, though. There's a 4 and a 4, so I'm guaranteed to get a 4. I would want to overspend to put as many cards back in the deck as possible. Let's not do this probe. I gained 4 science. Of course they did, because there's 4 science cards in there. Duh. Everything makes sense. Why is there only 3 starbase discs? What happened to the other starbase disc? Why is there only 3? We didn't exile its starbase disc. Did it not come back because Technosiphons stole it? That makes no sense. I don't know, but I only have 3 starbase discs right now. There's nothing that's stolen over here, right? Weird. I'd need to check the tapes to see if it didn't go back into supply or something. I'm gonna report a bug though. I did a weird typo. You did not see that. Okay. Okay. So if I do want to upgrade my Federation level this turn, I would not be able to use anything. I mean, I can't really do anything anyway, because I still have to put text discs there. I guess I could do a die of value 3+, but... I don't know. Let's not do it. Let's do this. Spend 2 fleets. Adds the influence. We'll get SS Sunlight next turn. We will have 3 water, so we could do Extractqueduct to re-roll any dice. We're close to getting both Ocean 1s. This means Wide Beam Network could give me a lot of diplomacy for free. We will not have 3 fuels, so we can't get a free Energy 6. Alright, so let's do a probe. Because I want to keep these. Get a probe. Let's see if I get the starbase disc back or not. And then I don't want to spend that starbase disc if I never get it back, because that's gonna be pretty sad. We probably want to shut these down at this point. But let's get fleets back. I can do it this way. Probes I can do 3 of, so let's get another fleet and then 3 probes. This deck is really thin. There are 4 starbase discs here. So inoperability tax is here, so Ultra Tech dice can only be used if it matches a color that's in salvage, but there are starbase discs there. but I only got 2 back. It said 4, but I got 2. The game is lying to me. Well, that will make this milestone hard to get because I can't use these the Starbase discs are not returning properly. I wonder if it's a problem that, like, if I were to go to the main menu and come back, it would fix. Oh. It did fix. Maybe it was just a visual bug. Well, I'm gonna update the bug on Trello. Okay. So we can shut one of these down right now. Spending all of our signs except for the 2 card. Let's shut this one down and then I can spend all the tech discs on that, I think. And then I can use text more freely. Everything but the 2. There's a lot of science cards back in the discard as well. Let's spend 7 tech discs. Because I can. I'm at Federation level 5. Doesn't really do much, but since we are, like, we're gonna get the reshuffle soon, and they're gonna have 5 revealed events, so it is actually kind of important. So now I can do these for free. We got SS Sunlight. We can actually get Ocean 1, or Starburger this turn, rather. This Ocean 1 we're not getting unless I spend 6 science, so I'm definitely not. I don't even have 6 science, and I don't have enough diplomacy. We are on to stop the finale side as well. But we can let this go off for a sec. Because we can let it wait a turn and then remove the science card next turn, I think. That'd be fine. I'm just gonna do probes. I don't want to study. We're gonna get the reshuffle and our deck is thin. Oh man, we gotta like win the game soon, I think. If they do a reshuffle and there's no event to reveal, we actually do an overwhelm. We do have 1 disc to spend on the overwhelm, but yeah. Let's actually just spend the science on this or something. I don't know. Let me get these back up. This is not very efficient use of undo. I feel like I should be doing something more. There's not really much to do on the stop the finale side, though. Maybe I do want to stop the finale. Gets rid of a science card at least, on my end. Let's see. Right. Those 3s. Right. Oh, that's actually brutal because I don't have... Wait, I can't even use this like that. I can't put an Ultra Tech in there. That's funny. I can spend 2 fleets to calibrate, I guess, but... I do have to cover these as well is a problem. I don't have enough dice to be able to do that. Oh boy. Okay, let's not do that then. Okay, so 3 probes, 3 fleets, or 8 fleets, I don't know. I'm getting too many science and fleets, which is making the decks thin, is the problem. I need more dice. I'm just... Wait, no. The other thing also gave me dice, right? Ultra Tech, but I can't really use the Ultra Tech. Let's just do this. I need diplomacies. I need diplomacies. This gives me diplomacies. It's a 23 card deck. It's not that bad. I'm not studying it. May place dice in the salvage area during the results phase. Discard 3 for each box that is not filled. Okay. And we're not doing anything. Why are we not doing anything? Start game. That's not a button you want to see. Okay. The game was like, hey, we started the game. Don't ask questions. The Unseen is here. But... which one of these do we shut down? We have to fill this anyway, otherwise we discard lots of cards. Maybe I'd start here. Four, 8, 10, 12. Huh? So if I want to be able to fill the diplomacy, I have to put that there. Then I have to hit the 6. I have to hit the 4. We do have a 3 science card. Didn't they have a card underneath them, or did that bug out? Probably got bugged. I have to hit that 14 as well. I can roll dice. Spending a lot of dice, that kind of is what happens when your salvage is this big. But we are ready to stop the finale. Expeditionary Force to claim Ocean 1. Can't do anything with these. Just study Nom Nom Mud. And probe. Did I click too fast? I clicked too fast probably. And I'm actually like hard locked right now. I can't do anything. Oh man. I'm breaking the game. Let's restart the game. So launch the probe, but don't click so quickly. Then study. I can select that. Okay. Also, we have lots of these I forgot I had. I don't have 2 fuels? Really? Oh, because this was the other fuel and I don't have it yet. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so I can actually... I only have 1 Ultra Tech left, so if I wanted to do this... Let's do this one. It does make the salvage harder, because I now need to cover the 4 fleets. But that's a weird UI. Okay. Okay, we have stopped the finale. We're no longer spending fleets to put cards in the discovery zone. We still have inoperability taxes. Gain 4 fleets in a probe. Let's get diplomacy dice. And now we start confronting. Their civilization has run out of time to claim their victory. This was a bug that was actually on Discord. So... that's definitely wrong. Has it just never happened that someone ran out of adversary events? Because technically the rule is you get overwhelmed. Where does it talk about events? If there are no adversary event cards left when a reshuffle would be triggered, you are overwhelmed. And I was overwhelmed, but it didn't check for my adversary discs, so I'm going to report this bug. I don't know whether disc is DISC or DISK. I'm gonna go to Discord actually and report this. Or not report this, but there was someone that talked about this. Cool. All right, so we lost the game, although I think we were going to win. We kind of went a bit overboard with science, I guess. Science and fleets. The texts that I was using were texts that wanted fleets. there a way to view cards? I don't think there is, actually. At least not yet. This is in alpha or early access or whatever, so it's being built on, but there's no way to view active cards. So, okay. Yeah, there was a tech that required us to spend 2 fleets to add influence, and that's actually a very costly tech in terms of cards. As 2 fleets is 1 card that's on your starbase. Adding an influence on each location, if there are 4 locations and they all have no influence, you're adding 1 card to each of those. So that tech costs 5 cards, which does make the reshuffle happen faster. And it was pretty powerful to be able to claim the locations faster that way, but we did spend a lot of time that way. Plus, we had to get fleets more often, so the deck was thinner, and we were spending a lot of science to be able to upgrade our starbase and also to shut down the experiments that ended up making the finale harder to stop as well. So it's kind of awkward. All right, it's 8:17. I could probably do another game. Let's do another one. Let's do this again with random. So let's generate 2 random integers between 1 and 5. You get 1 and 3. And a random integer between 1 and 4, we get 4. So again, it's Dark Star Syndicate. Even when I'm doing random, it's only Dark Star Syndicate. Okay. So we are playing with the elements, which gives us 3 energy, 2 materials, and 5 diplomacy, which is really good for handling the 5 and the 6, although the 19 is now harder to get. Starts with a fuel, and the base milestone is to have 20 dice in your pool. The base tech is adaptive research. Resolve the starbase and discard any dice used. I wonder how that okay. It says you may not resolve the starbase unless the total dice value in the gray box is at least as high as the quantity of dice in the starbase. So we can't use this to cheat the starbase and resolve it. We have to actually still do ad infinity if that is active. Our society is guardians. At any time, exile colonies with an energy, diplomacy, and materials. At any time, exile colonies with 3 tech discs. At any time, exile colonies with 3 different resources. So we'll get colonies more easily because our dice ignore restriction and unlock text on location cards, but we'll have to exile our cards that we gain in order to be able to win the game. So we'll be more focused on dice in this game, I guess, because dice are how we get colonies, or colonies give us dice, more accurately. And the tech here is Nano Constructors. At base value, set 1 of your dice to any value. Federation level 3, set up to 3 of your dice to the same value. Federation level 5, set any number of your dice to the same value. And that's pretty valuable because that will allow us to get 6s. And that's nice. Okay, let's play. Starting with 4 science again, yes. And time dilators is here, so during the results phase, discard 3 cards for each box here that is not filled. That's annoying. So you can ignore restrictions and unlock text. So like Zabfab mine, I can fill the 3 and the 6 and ignore the 10. Twenso, I can use Ultra Tech dice. Vo, I can use 6s. Namnamud, I can use 1, 2s, and 3s. But that said, I don't really feel like that's helpful. Or just an Ultra Tech can be pretty valuable. So we need to gain colonies. 20 dice in the pool requires colonies. Unless we get text, but we're not really getting text. I guess I was gonna say Arsenal Ultra Tech, but yeah, so we're gonna need to gain colonies somehow. We can't gain Vo this turn, but we can make progress on Vo, but we do have to be wary of this 4 and 9. And this 19 is rather hard right now. Although we do have the 5 and a 6 very easily. So what shall we do? Well, can't do the top row because I don't have 2 star-based discs. I can almost do both rows here, but I would need to... I guess I could increase a die to any value, so I can get that if I increase one of those to a 4 or higher. I can get this one instead if I get a 6. Not get, but make progress on that. Wenso. I would rather work on that one. 2 star-based discs is 2 of the 3 that we need for the one of the milestones. So let's say I increase this one. Then I have to cover the 4 into 9, otherwise I spend too much time. That leaves me with 2 dice. 2 is a really bad number. I guess I can study Vo. I could also use time dilators to gain me Ultra Tech dice. And then I won't have to cover this every round, only when I need to stop the finale, which is kind of like... It's the one that's kind of a strict benefit, because... I mean, technically I don't have to fill this, but... assuming that I always want to fill it to make the game as long as possible, then I should be able to like shut down this experiment, and then I only have to deal with it when I need to stop the finale as opposed to dealing with it every turn. If I put 4 science in here, I get an Ultra Tech 3, but that doesn't really do much for me. So let's just study Vo. Oh, I have another die here, actually. Well, I missed that, put a 3 there. Then I could just probe. Probing seems better. But it gives me 2 science anyway. I'm not studying Twinzo. They always gain 4 science. Rude. Okay. So you only need to gain 1 influence on Twenzo. Most easily accomplished this way. Wasting my 6s though. Actually, no, I don't have to do that. I can do it this way. Duh. Saves a 6. I can gain 1 influence on Vo and maybe get it next turn. Can't make any progress on Namnabud, so I should probably study it. Also, let's not forget that I gotta do this. Probably save more dice doing it that way. Okay, so if I gain Twinso and Vo, then I can get the milestone by exiling both of them for the total of 3 tech discs. We're gonna have to stop the finale in a future turn, maybe next turn. Well, next turn, I guess we're not. We could just wait a turn and let them gain a science card and then get rid of it. It's easier to stop the finale when you have more diplomacy dice, so I'm not that worried about that. I can just do this if I use nano constructors. The one extra die is not going to do anything now. But then I can get Zap Fab Mine by just getting the 3 and the 6 repeatedly. We need to get more materials. That's what we need. This die is sad. Bad die. I could study this for 1 die, actually. Well, no, let's not do that. That's silly. The investment was bad for that. All right, finale. Zap Fab Mine number 2. Okay. I would need to use Nano Constructors or Calibrate to get that. It's not doing me a whole lot of good. Ultra Tech 3 would be pretty good right now. So let's get it. Because then I can do this. I want the Ultra Tech 4 as well. I think I do, because then I could get an influence here and claim Bow. Okay. So let's select that. And then increase this. Okay. And then we can get the first row of this Zap Fab Mine to get that influence point. We probably want to gain this as a tech because our energy is, or our materials is really bad, and we'll have 2 fuels, so we will get a materials and a materials 4. I think we kind of have to do that because this is really bad. The oh, we have an innate fuel. That's our innate. Okay, so this by itself will give us a materials 4 always, so that is probably worth. Let's study Nom Nom mode because we're never gonna do anything with it. Oh shit. Thank you for the warning. Shit. Then I guess I'm not gonna do this then. That's not that valuable. 1 extra die again. Not studying that. Stop the finale just for a 2. Whatever. Potion 1. We do have lots of diplomacy though. We do want to stop the finale probably. We also would like to do this. Increase this by 1. Yes. Makes sense. All right, then let's see. 14. 14. Ugh. My roll is bad. I can stop the finale, but I'm not covering the 4 and the 9, which seems wrong. So let's stop the Let's do that. Let's do that. And oh, that was not a 3. There we go. Let's not stop the finale. 'Tis foolish. These dice can't really do that much. Studying Nom Nom Mud. Costs 4 dice. Let's do a probe and gain 2 fleets. That feels better. Gain Nat Tech. Only got 3 science out of that. But I can get an Ultra Tech 5 if I wanted. They gained a 4. So we do have to kind of stop the finale this turn, because if they gain another 3, or even if they gain a 3, if they gain a 3 or a 4, they will discard 4 cards. However, my diplomacy here is pretty good, so. Also, we have this now. So that helps a little bit. Or the 9. Yeah, I kind of want to stop doing that every turn. I only have 3 dice left over. Wonderful. Chelona sucks. Oh my god. Get that out of there, because 4 dice to get 2 influence is stupid expensive. But so is 3 influence for 20 pips? Ugh. But studying this discards 3 cards. Well, if I get a 3, I could shut down time dilators. So I'm going to study Chelonis then. They gained another 4. Wonderful. Can we confront? Also, reshuffle is imminent. Let's get these to shut you down. Five, 6. Get the roll. Confronting would make me feel better. I can do it with a bit of wasted pips. Although I can save some by doing this, but these are all 4s and 5s. If I increase a 4 to a 6, I can save a 5. That's really all I can do with that. Getting past this first level, though, is pretty good, because then I don't have to do energy anymore. Or sorry, materials. I don't have to do materials anymore. It's energy next round and then wild. Also, we'd have to do the 4 and the 9. Except, why is it? Oh, because I finished it. No, I don't have to do it anymore because we stopped it. Excellent. We shut down the experiment. We don't have to do the 4 and 9. We get more dice. Excellent. All dice here. Oh, but we don't care about that rule, right? We ignore it. I don't have any diplomacy left over. Or not diplomacy. I keep saying the wrong word for the pink die. I've always done this. I don't have any materials left over, so I can't do anything here, can't do anything here. Can't do anything here unless I spend lots of dice on Ultra Techs. Can't even do much with Ocean 1. You have 7 dice. Let's get rid of Nom Nom Ud. And Zap Fab, probably. I don't think this will trigger a reshuffle until next turn. Yeah. Okay, and it's at 31 cards. It's a pretty thick reshuffle. Okay, so we do want to upgrade our Federation level. Because otherwise we'll spend our adversary disc because we're going to get overwhelmed. So I do have to exile these 2 colonies. So we lost an energy. So we still have to make progress. If I get uplifters, it freely pays for this milestone. It is expensive, but we do have, well, I guess we lost our energy die or energy card, but we had to do it. I don't have 9 science though. So I have to get science and then maybe get a good roll next turn with my 3 energies. Escalation Beam would be a pretty nice one, but if I do get to Federation level 5, this will eventually be better than Escalation Beam anyway. So we need to get the science to maybe consider doing this next round, so let's get those. I don't think I'm gonna bother upgrading the Starbase this time. I don't think there's much of a benefit to it other than a discounted probe and discounted fleets, and more Starbase discs, I guess, is another thing. We do actually need to upgrade it at one point, because to win the game, we have to be able to do 2 Starbase discs at the end. So we do have to do that at some point, but I'm not in a rush. So let's study Rice Twin, study Rice Twin. That's 6 dice. 7 left over. 1 is a probe, so 4. Kind of an annoying number. I guess I could try to do this. We do still have nano constructors. So if I increase this to a 6. Alright, then I can study, and get that influence and claim this soon. Don't really need wide beam network, so let's get that colony. And let's hoard the science in case we need to get rid of this experiment. And we also need 9 science anyway. Ultratech dice may only be used if they are color of dice on this card. Okay, well that makes uplifters harder. We do have lots of fleets. So first off, is this roll good enough? I can calibrate this with 2 fleets. I can calibrate this with 3 fleets. And I can increase this. So I think I do this. This is pretty much the best opportunity I have. Because I had a natural 6. Okay. I have 2 dice left over. Well, these 2 as well. These 3. Sorry, this 2. This 2. Okay. All right. So that gets rid of uplifters. We can't stop the finale yet. I can get an influence point on Gurn, which will give us a water when we get it, and we do need to get 3 resources. But then where are my other dice going? Nowhere? Gain 1 fleet doesn't really seem useful. So I will skip. Yeah. And let's keep this for a bit, because we could gain it immediately to upgrade our Federation level, but we're not at risk of losing. And the extra dice, I think, are more important right now. Starburger. That shuffled, or that looked a little weird. I would get an upgraded nano constructors if I were to exile it. Let's do this first, as always. Okay. So we're not at risk of, like, the next science card isn't going to be high enough. They have a 2 and a 3 down there, so they would always lose the 2. So we don't have to do it this round. We could wait a turn. We want to get Ocean 1. Diplomacy roll is kind of bad, but we can increase this to make it work. Do this, recovers a 3. Doesn't do that much. Get an influence point there. Now, I can't actually do the other part because I don't have the diplomacy because it's all sitting over here, but I could kind of do it maybe if I get Ultra Tech dice and I put this 3 up here so I can actually use it. I do want to claim Ocean 1. I don't really need the diplomacy die, but I do want to get that off the field. Gurn, I guess I could wait a turn on. I don't really need the diplomacy die on that either. I could maybe take the tech for an energy 6, or not energy, material 6. Don't need material as much anymore though. Inoperability taxes is kind of annoying, but I think it's probably worth keeping out there because I could just not use Ultra Tech dice, is what that means. Or if I do need to use an Ultra Tech die, I just need to cover one of those boxes for the corresponding color. Well, it's actually kind of weird because I could, a weird thing is I could put this Diplomacy 3 in this box. Then I can use an Ultra Tech die to cover the other box. But that doesn't actually count as a color. It has to be a color of dice, not the color of box that's covered. That's a weird thing to think about. Anyway. I can't actually do anything with Starburger. That's annoying. I can gain influence on Solwart. So in terms of resources, this is the only crystal that's out there. This is also the only plant that's out there. I need at least one of them. Wait, that's weird. Oh, I guess because I only have the one. That's why. Okay, so I have a water there? Wait. Oh, because, right. Okay, I only have a water because this is a fuel down here. Okay. I do need to get 2 different resources. Gurn doesn't actually count for that because it's a water, which I already have. Ocean 1 is a fuel, that's different. So I don't know. Let's see. Let's get some fleets so I can calibrate dice next turn. And then that's a probe and then 2 extra dice, which doesn't do much. Maybe I just do 2 fleets. Then I could study Soulwort. Or, I don't really want to study it. If I do this, I can get 3 fleets that way and do a probe. Okay. I need that as a colony. Okay. Uplifters. Gaining that one could be good. Nice thing about uplifters is it counts for 3 dice. I already have one of those. But it's also a different resource. It's kind of an expensive different resource though. I'd rather keep it for the dice. Do I want to gain it though? I need to get more energy. My diplomacy is pretty good. Oh, but I gotta stop the finale this turn. I actually have to stop the finale this turn. Because we are at 9 science out of 10. I have to stop the finale. Alright, so that is the priority. So I have to cover this 14 with diplomacy. Yeah, this dice is sitting here as well. I'll go in there. I have to hit the 14, the 4, and the 9. So like that dice, for instance, would do it. It's a lot of pips that I'm dedicating to that. Anything salvageable? Get an influence point on Gurn to claim it. Wait. What did that hit? I just like clicked randomly. Like I clicked here and it didn't actually, I don't know what happened. Okay, whatever. It hit some die, but I don't know what die it hit. So that gives me the influence point on Gurn. Maybe I need to gain Soulwort because it gives me more materials. Kind of rather do it placing for both 5 and 10 and then 7 and 12 as opposed to just gaining 1 influence over and over again. I have a lot of fleets that are not doing anything. I don't really need to gain any fleets or science right now because, well, I guess I already have the science to pay for uplifters. I don't need science for anything else because I'm not dealing with the inoperability taxes. I'm just not. So I could use fleets to try to get dice back from the finale. Weird, I can actually take dice out of the salvage box over here. Wait, it's not technically break the rules. Oh, dice placed in experiment boxes cannot be removed once placed. Okay. But once they're in the salvage, they're not experiment boxes. I think that's so you don't do some cheese like I'm gonna place this 3 here so I can use an Ultratech die as a blue die and then do something like resolve a location row and then claim this 3 out and use it somewhere else. So then you don't have to use Ultratech dice as blue dice anymore. Feels like cheese. I'm just trying to think, how could I maybe do the 5 and the 10? I don't think there's a really nice way of doing it. But these dice aren't really doing much anyway. I kind of don't want to add fleets or science because it's going to take more cards out of the deck, and I kind of want to avoid that. This last game I got a lot of fleets and a lot of science, and the game went so quick. Went through all 5 events and lost because of a bug. So I don't want to do that unless I need to. I feel like I'm going to save the fleets for next turn so I could get uplifters more easily. Save the science, obviously, to pay for the 6, and I don't need science for anything else right now. By the way, we're going to stop the finale, but I think they're just going to restart it anyway, because they are going to remove the 2. So unless they gain a 2, they're going to flip again anyway. Yeah, I don't want those things. I want this thing. Xfinity? I'm at 15 dice. I need 20. Nice thing about Darkstar Syndicate is they don't exile dice, unlike other adversaries. This is a pretty bad roll for uplifters. Not for the diplomacy, but for the energy. And the finale has to be stopped again, of course. So what we probably need to do is to put this yellow 3 in here so I can actually use Ultratechs as energy. And then what I could do is like get an Ultratech 1 and increase it to a 6. And then more Ultratechs that are higher valued. But the Ultratech 1 becoming a 6, I guess I could already do that with this, but I don't know. Let's see. So assuming that I want to just get uplifters this turn, this is one way to do it. With the diplomacy, the energy's harder. What I could do is, because we're going to reshuffle soon anyway, we could get rid of this uplifters to upgrade my Federation level. Then I can increase 3 dice to the same value, which will get me 3 1s into a 6. And I kind of like that plan. So let's exile this one. then let's... Let's get an Ultra Tech this way. And then set these 3 dice to 6. And then I need 2 more pips, but I can spend my fleets on that. And then the 6 science. And uplifters is done. And I probably need to get science back. So let's study Solwort and do a probe. Nice probe. And we're doing a reshuffle with 25 cards. Okay. Must fill top row before bottom row, but we can ignore that. So we can actually get this pretty easily. And we have a fuel. Oh, can I just wait? If I double click this, yeah, okay. So I can actually exile all my colonies, but I don't really want to do that because uplifters is good. But I have a fuel and a water, so I need to gain something that's a plant or a crystal. That's not that. That would be this one. I'll be right back. I need to get a new pop. All right, I'm back. So, Rice Twin, all dice here must be the same value, but obviously we don't need to follow that. This Hexfinity requires science and fleets and 6s. Okay. We can get the 6s very easily. We can get Hexfinity pretty quickly, actually. 3 rounds, because it's only 4 influence out of 9. So 2 rounds would be 8. Alright, Swin takes 2 rounds. This is Sunlight takes 4 rounds. Yikes. Okay, so we could stop the finale this turn, actually, because it is a 4 science card there, so getting rid of that would be pretty valuable. So let's try that. Not really paying attention to the colors of dice that I'm putting in, but it's probably important. That's the minimum number of dice that I need, though. So, if I want to like deal with Hexfinity, I will need science cards and fleets. I have lots of those. I do have a 3 to spend for it. Rice Twin, I don't have enough energies for. I could just study it and then use it to pay for Hexfinity next turn. That seems fine. Let's increase this and this to a 6 at least, so I can hit these, and then the other one doesn't actually matter. I don't think I'm dealing with Hex with SS Sunlight. I only have 6 dice left over. If I study SS Sunlight, I have 2 dice left over. I guess I could get fleets to help pay for Hexfinity, but I'm not really that worried about it. So let's make these 3 6s. Somehow I didn't hit this one. Again, what did I actually click if I didn't hit that one? I'm confused. I guess I just didn't click it. Because you can set up to 3, so I set only 2. Okay. I don't have a Starbase disc. Oh. I'm only at Starbase class 1, right? Okay. Fair enough. So let's do this one then. And let's upgrade the Starbase so I can actually do 2 at a time. Okay. So for that, let's study SS Sunlight and Rice Twin, and then spend the 2 4s to upgrade. I will not be able to do both of these next turn if the new event is the one where I have to spend fleets to put a card on the Discovery Zone, because I'll spend all my fleets. So I don't actually have to study both of these. I just need to study SS Sunlight. So let's take this 3 out so I can do this row. Get 3 fleets and study SS Sunlight so I can upgrade the Starbase. Keeps the 3 science for Hexfinity, and I have enough fleets for next turn. You may place dice in the salvage area. You may not resolve the Starbase unless the total dice value in the gray box is at least as high as the quantity of dice on the Starbase. That one's probably the best to find right now, as we don't really need to put dice in the Starbase that much for what we're doing. Okay. So I can hit both of these. Can we do this? We don't have enough energy. Unless we do Ultratex. Confronting makes it so they need less science to... Yeah, it's basically the only perk right now is to need less science to need to stop the experiment. We would need to use an Ultratech to do that. Which would require us to use one of our energy dice for that, which is annoying. I don't think I need to deal with it right now. I don't think the difference between 10 and 11 is that significant. So let's do this. We will need to get Diplomacy 6. Let's see, do I have these things locked in? I can. Might as well. Gives us a crystal in next round. Okay. And then I don't think the others matter as much. I don't think I'm worried about Starburger. I guess I could get a lot of influence just with diplomacy, though. So maybe I just increase these and ignore the energy. Since I can't actually do it with the energy I have right now. So set these to 6. Get this one. Get that one. Now I do need to get science and fleets, so I do need to use the starbase. So maybe I'm not actually doing both of these. Maybe I don't do the Starburger just because it's less efficient. So I need to get, well, I don't really need the fleets because I have enough. But I do need some science, and the probe might not get me 3 science. I could study Starburger to guarantee that I can pay for it, or I could just do 2 probes and either get 2 2s, which will work, or get a 3 or a 4, which will work. So for that, I will need to put 6 pips in here, and then do 2 probes. Huh? I got a 3. I'm not studying. This game feels a lot better than last game. It feels like I'm more in control. Okay, so I gotta do this one more time. It will require a material 6. And this gets me that one as well. This will almost give me 20 dice, except I'll have 9 diplomacy dice, which I don't actually have enough of, so it doesn't work for that milestone. It's better to get 2 6s out of this, I think, to hit Starburger with. The nice thing about the Guardians is once you do get to Federation level 5, Nano Constructors wins the game, because then you don't, like, you literally don't care about your rolls anymore. Okay, so if I get this Starburger, it gives me a water. Not actually that helpful for this, though. So I don't really know why I'm doing this, but I am. Gives me more tech stars, I guess, in the event that we have to spend tech stars to use techs with the other thing. Okay. Do I need science? Do I need fleets? We're done with Xfinity, so we don't really need that anymore. I don't think we need it. We could get rid of this Starburger and claim it as science. It is 4 science, which is pretty high, and we're not really able to use anything with it, so let's put 4 here and then put 4 dice in here. And let's not get fleets because we don't need them just yet. Claim this for dice. Claim this for dice. Study that. They're gonna get a reshuffle. With 19 cards. Alright, so we will need to upgrade our Federation level or spend an adversary disc. We don't need to stop the experiment. So if I want to exile colonies with 3 different resources, I can do that with Ocean 1, Gurn, and Rice Twin. And keep Uplifters and Hexfinity. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and do that. We're done exiling. Can we confront this turn? That just needs a 6. So yeah, we can confront. We just use nano constructors to get us a 6. Or we put a... oh, we would have to use this, but that'll be fine because then we could use an Ultra Tech. But I mean, like, we're not really using nano constructors for anything else, so doesn't really matter. We could keep working on things to try to get more dice. Now that my energy's better, sorry, not energy, materials is better, I can actually do Zab Fab better. Can I claim Starburger just to get it out of there? Not really. If I do this, then I actually can. Alright, so get this. And I don't actually need, I just need to up these 3. That works, and that works. And then I have 3 dice left over. Don't need them right now. Do anything with them. Don't need to gain fleets or science. Let's just move on. So I don't actually need colonies anymore, but this is a die or tech discs, and ultra techs aren't really that valuable, so let's just claim it as a colony. It's not study. You have successfully confronted. To place a tech disc on a tech, you must also place a tech disc, a starbase disc, or a die of value 3+. That is fine. We don't have many techs, and we have a lot of tech discs. It's a sunlight. So this is pretty easy because we just need 32 pips of any color, so that's pretty easy. Let's roll. And then we could just use nano constructors to increase the worst 3 dice. And that's done. Okay, and we are at Federation level 4, so next turn we need 8 fleets and 12 science to be able to confront, so we do need to get those. So all this game when I'm saying, hey, I don't really care about those. Well, alright, so now if we just shift our focus to that instead. So the hardest is going to be the fleets. If I gain 6 fleets this turn, Science is a little easier. Just because we have more of it. Hey. Okay, so that's 6 dice, so it needs 6 pips. Which I could just do with this. Now, I can study ZabFab for free, but that will only give me 11 science, but I do have adaptive research to resolve the starbase freely. So I can get another science card that way. So I have the 8 fleets, and I can get the last science card easily, so then 24 diplomacy should be easy, and then we win. Unless we need to stop the finale, in which case we will postpone it by a round, but stopping should be easy because we only have one salvage to deal with, so it should be fine. We don't need that. Do not upgrade. And we do have to stop the finale. Cool. All right, fine. If you must. So it shall be stopped. All right, let's just do a study while we're here. So like, put a 3 there and then put 3 dice here. I don't want to do more than this because I don't want to do a reshuffle. We don't need any more. Like, we actually flat out don't need more. Like, if we do a reshuffle and we reveal an event, the last event is the fleets for carts of the Discovery Zone. We don't want that. Okay, let's just do this. I win! Your civilization has fought off the threat and formed a federation that will bring prosperity to your corner of the galaxy. You have proved the Dark Star Syndicate wrong with your federation's success. Yay! Alright. First game was a loss because of a bug, I believe. Second game was more successful and more in control, as it turned out. So, there you have it. And this is the last Dolphins dive of the year. I will see you guys next year in 2024. We'll see if we have some successes there. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Check out the other streams we have on this channel. Every Friday at 4 p.m. is Luck of the Seamus with Seamus the Hug Monster. Every Sunday at 1 p.m. is Spirit Island Sundays with usually Seamus the Hug Monster. I do believe he's not streaming this week, though. He's had some health setbacks. So I think he's taking the rest of the month off anyway. Every Tuesday at, I believe, 2 p.m. now is Handelabra Live. Because John is in a time zone that makes it easier for him to stream at 2 instead of 7. But Handelabra Live is hosted by John, who likes to demo content before it is publicly available, and most recent streams have been centered around Spirit Island, namely the Jagged Earth expansion, as John and the other Handelabrats have been working on introducing more and more Jagged Earth content. So be sure to check those streams out to see the previews for that. And of course, every Thursday at 7 p.m. is Dolphins Dive with yours truly. Handelabra products include Sentinels of the Multiverse, Sentinels of Earth Prime, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, One Deck Galaxy, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island, all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices with the exceptions of One Deck Dungeon, which is available on Switch also, and One Deck Galaxy, which is in early access on Steam. Follow us at twitch.tv/Handelabra Games or Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, or pretty much any avenue. But that is it for this week. Have a good night, everyone.